I hadn't had a kid in 14 years. But men, right? Men see a baddie, we think like, I'm gonna get her pregnant. That's what men think when they see a baddie.
You gamed me.
You gamed me.
I'm just asking.
Hey, I'm just saying, when a man really sees a woman that that he likes and it's a baddie, that be our first thought. Like we thinking like, damn, like I would have a baby by that. So yeah, I'm manifested.
This is some bullshit.
The deep analysis that we must go through here today is that of a podcast that recently came up in my timeline, and it is that of The Game, speaking on the Drop the Low podcast, which stars Evelyn Lozada, who's like a ex-basketball, football wife. She had an ex-husband, I think is Ocho Cinco, and she's just tied to like other various famous entertainment type people. Yeah, you guys know the drill. But her daughter, Shanice, is the baby mama, one of the baby moms of The Game. Anyway, The Game went to this podcast and they all began to have this conversation, and the parts that we're getting ready to go over are specific to how Shanice became pregnant, which is very interesting, some of the things that The Game talks about, and again, ripe for deep analysis and conversation. Buckle up for this one because we're going to have to go there. Without further ado.
Well, I'm happy that you're here, but I have a bone. I have a big bone to pick with you.
Okay.
How did you make me a grandmother before 50?
You know,
How did that happen, Jay?
I knew.
It was 49.
Yeah.
Jay is The Game.
Before 50, technically.
I knew you were in the crunch, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to hit you with that so that by the time you're 60 years old, you have a whole like 5th, 6th grader. You know, I didn't want to wait, any longer because who knows, We're getting old.
Well, you made Welly a grandmother at like 38.
She was 38. I did make, my mom was a grandmother at 38.
Oh, well, so there it is.
There it is.
Because I had Shanice so young, but all I know is that
What?
I didn't know how to process the information.
It happened very quickly.
Yeah, like I didn't know how to like process it, right? Like
It is hilarious to me when questions like this are asked, they focus on the men as if your daughter didn't have a decision in this process to become pregnant. And then you find out that you was made a gan at 49, but you made your mother a gan at 38. So there seems to be a cycle of early onset pregnancy that seems to be deeply embedded or rooted within your genetic makeup, all right? Stop pressing this man as if he forced her to have a kid against her will, all right? She's been studying mama throughout her life and has picked up components of the game, all right? No pun intended. But the identification of who the game is, the fact that he is comfortable enough to splash raw daddy within your daughter's cheeks doesn't make it incumbent on him, okay? It takes two to tango. Let's go.
It was me. She's pregnant. Obviously, we have a great private conversation. And I had to sit with it for a little while because I'm like, I'm going to be a grandmother. Like, this is weird, Like, I know I'm 50.
Well, and you've never been a grandmother yet, so I know you were like, what does that look like for me?
What does that look like? Like, what? Well, like, first of all, what is she having? What is it going to look like? What is this going to be? How is my life going to change? I thought about Leo. He's a young uncle. I thought about so many things. Then when obviously she told me that you were the dad, I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, we in trouble now.
We in trouble now. But I will tell you, I've had people ask me this. They're like, well, how did you feel when you found out that he was the dad? Like, how, like, what? And my initial feeling was I was shocked. Yeah. But then I found so much... I found so much peace and I know how you love your kids and I know how you parent your kids. And I said to myself, you know what? He's a great dad. He's a great dad. And so I found a lot of comfort in that. And now that we've been doing the family thing for some time, I'm like, I couldn't even see my life without Blaze.
Yeah.
So grateful that you're in our lives because I feel like, you and I, like, well, whenever I need advice, I'm doing something, the podcast, whatever, like, it's been good. Like it flows, We've had a few bumps in the road. Yeah, Shaw's looking like,
but
I'm talking about us.
Yeah.
If I were to guess, and I'm not going to take anything away from The Game here, at least at this current junction, because I'm sure he's a wonderful father. All right. But if I were to guess, the complete assessment of who was the baby father also had to do with that the daughter got impregnated by an entertainment figure. And not just any, but somebody that is highly regarded from a status perspective in the hip hop world, which will continue to help lift, aid, and proliferate whatever semblance of an entertainment career that she has at the tender age of 50. Now let's talk about the game here for a quick second, because the game, right, like this is his third baby mama. I believe he has 4 or 5 kids. Right. And this is not like a polygamous situation, right? Like not all of the kids and the mothers are living in the same house, which means that his time is going to be split. I think that families matter. So we should stop clapping for situations like this where men that grew up without fathers are also continuing the cycle of fatherlessness through separation. No matter how much money that you make, your time is limited. And when you spread yourself thin, someone's child is not getting what they deserve. Let's continue.
And you know, in all transparency, like that's how it should be. You know, if anything that just goes through like smoothly, straight with no bumps, like you can't grow from that. You can't learn anything from that. And if everything's smooth, somebody's hiding something. You know, they're not being their 100% of their authentic self. One of my first questions to her was, did you tell your mom? Right? I was like, did you tell your mom? And she was like, well, I'm gonna just wait a little bit, you know? And so I guess she waited a little bit and then she told you. Yeah. And then I was like, did you tell your dad? And she was like, no, I'm gonna wait a little bit. But you know the thing about when she told me, I was shocked a little bit. Like literally, I was shocked. And we got into this, you know, thing I love being a dad, right? Like absolutely love being a dad. But I was shocked as shit. And I don't think it was the reaction that Sha wanted, so she cried a little bit, and it was uncomfortable for her and for me. I didn't want to make her cry. I just was like, I didn't know what to say shocked. Because I hadn't had a kid in 14 years, so I was like super shocked. She had never had a kid, so of course she was super shocked. Okay. But when she found out,
now the game is like 45 or 46. All right, by midlife, you should have complete mastery of the prophylactic and or the pullout game. Let's call a spade, all right? You should be God-tier pullout artist. So this shock thing that he's saying, right? Like if he was in his 20s, maybe I would understand this, but for me, this sounds like a degree of cope, or he's just straight up lying. At this stage in the game, accidents just don't happen. You understand your body, you understand her body, but you often find it's way more intentional than what they lead on. Let's continue.
She kind of got to live with it a little bit, you know? Like I didn't know as soon as she knew. So she lived with it a little bit, processed it. And then once it got to me, she had already like, you know, kind of lived with it a little bit. So I was super shocked. She cried a little bit. I was really thrown out to the wayside about that because I didn't want to make her feel like I wasn't excited or I wasn't going to love the situation because I absolutely love my children. But we got around that, and obviously he's here and he's beautiful and throwing shit across the house. And yeah, he's just a great kid. And then for her being Blaze's mom, like, oh my God, like a gift to a child because she's so calm and her reserve is like immaculate. Yeah. And one day he knocked over coffee, like hot ass coffee. And me, I'd be like, pow, pow. And she was just like, it's okay. I swear to God, it was like Cinderella came to that motherfucker with the Swiffer. And she was like, it's okay, baby. And just swept it up. And I was like, I would have just get a little pop, little no, little something. But man, she parents with so much grace. And yes, she does. I'm just That's like good. Ecstatic that you're Blaze's mom, because I know that, because I'd be wild as fuck. So I know that like as long as he got you guys, as his little army, like he's gonna be straight.
Sorry, but I feel like you manifested Blaze.
Yeah.
What?
Like you were mentioning another child before I got pregnant.
Yeah, true.
What?
Like you manifested Blaze. Yeah. On our first date, you were talking about a Blaze, not him exactly.
Yeah.
But you were talking about a Blaze. So you agree with that?
I do agree with that. I think that
Remember when a second ago I said that it's way more intentional than what he's saying? Quick emergency meeting. I was recently searching for my name online and found way too much personal information, which brought me down this weird rabbit hole of how that could have happened, and found out that there's companies out there called data brokers that will sell your data to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. And it's a nasty, disgusting feeling knowing that there's bad actors out there selling my information, selling your information for profit. But that's why I'm recommending today's sponsor, Aura. Now, I use Aura to automatically remove my information from these sites and keep my information off. But they do other things as well, such as bank fraud and identity theft alerts, VPN access. But guys, utilize my link down in the description box down below for a 14-day trial. At least see if you've been compromised. Privacy is king in this day and age, and you should know if your information is out there. So again, utilize my link, aura.com/MTR, in the description box down below to try 2 weeks free. That's way more than enough time to see if your personal data has been exposed. Go now. This is odd.
We talked about kids.
Yeah, true. But just so you guys know, because you guys are, beautiful women. You guys are still like women, right? But men, right? Men see a baddie, we think like, I'm gonna get her pregnant. That's what men think when they see a baddie.
You gamed me.
You gamed me.
I'm just asking.
Hey, I'm just saying, when a man really sees a woman that he likes and it's a baddie, that be our first thought. Like we're thinking like, damn, like I would have a baby by that. So yeah, I'm manifested.
Perhaps this is your first thought when you've come from a broken home, when your degrees of masculinity is often foot within the amount of women that you can put within your stable. Right? When it comes with the tying down or locking down a woman, leveraging one of the most important components of being a man, which is utilization of your seed into them, especially if you come from the mindset that part-time daddy in child's life is, normal, even though the studies would show, and detailing the importance of having a man and in the household, two-parent household. But yeah, thoughtful, insightful, wise men do not prioritize what a woman looks like as a decision into putting a baby in her. They go beyond the aesthetics of her face or the suppleness of her mammary glands, for lack of a better word, or the thickness of her hamstrings, right? It goes way beyond that into the content of her character. Sounds like from Game's description, he made out in describing, how it is that she deals with the young child. But no, I completely disagree with this. And when you begin to understand, right, the mindset that this comes from, you begin to understand sort of the ease in the young men's decision-making into allowing their seeds just to be utilized by these women so freely. For you first must consider concepts of motherhood, including her femininity, right, her behavior, her respect towards you, her continuous learning and improvement, her stick-to-itiveness, right? How it is that she improves within her own life, her patience, because inevitably she's going to pass it all down to that next generation. And I think you also have to consider where she came from or the environment of where she was raised. What did she see around her? And in knowing that she's a teen mother who's come from a history of teen mothers, as a man, you must take that into account. And as a father, you must think towards, all right, if you have a daughter, if you made a daughter with her, the chances of the daughter becoming a teen mom is that much higher because of what she was born into and the life surrounded by the industry that doesn't reduce the risk of that outcome. But it makes sense that when you have a mindset like that, how you can rationalize, 3 different baby mothers with, all of these different kids, which is not ideal for family building. Now, I do wonder, if a game was to hear comments like this, if he would consider this hate. And he actually addressed hate comments a little bit later on. Let's review.
People, we're in the light, right? Like all of us, just, we're in the light. So you have millions of followers, you have millions of followers. I have millions of followers. A person that's hiding behind their phone, that has their own insecurities and fucked up life, can easily tell you that you don't look good and then throw their phone on the charger and you can see it or not see it, right? It's so easy to throw a rock and hide a stone when you're not in the light. Right. But for those who are in the light, we understand that, like, I understand where it's coming from. So it's like the people that hate you are literally your biggest fans, because the people that love you, they don't have time to really zero in on every single thing you're doing. They're busy loving themselves. So it's literally only people who don't love themselves who are trying to get you, you know, down there with them. And I've just like never been the guy to like dive down. I get down there and like step on you, like pull my underwear down and take a shit on you if I really feel like trolling. But for the most part, man, like thank you for following, because if you look at most of your hated comments, it's going to say follow back.
Yeah.
Which means that they follow you, they wait, they see it, and they can't wait to tell you that they're having a shitty day again. And God bless them.
Are you surprised that they weaponized the fact that you two had a baby against me on the show? Like, I had a feeling it would happen, but like, how did you feel about that? Because
They called you a felon.
Yeah. I mean, true.
Are you a felon?
I am. So I don't feel slighted by someone
Yes, you are
trying to
felon.
like
Wait a minute. Is this
throw
her first time figuring this out? Game, this ain't hate, baby. This is just observations based off what I'm seeing right here and the words that are coming out of your mouth. Nevertheless, for your baby mother to have not known that that is a component of your background, I think further demonstrates that these were two people hooking up, raw daddy. There wasn't much thought and consideration and or research, right, like into what was happening. They were essentially strangers within the entertainment industry, and now they're raising a child together. I hope this situation works out, all right? But my G's, the lesson here is wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up. Notice again how the mother went directly towards the game as to the reason why her daughter was pregnant, as opposed to giving any accountability to the daughter or perhaps the lifestyle that she watched the mother engage in. But his comments about haters is spot on. And I mean, I have nowhere near the notoriety of the game, and I don't want that notoriety. Nevertheless, I still get hate comments. And for any budding content creators out there that are scared of doing content because of hate comments, the way that he conceptualizes this is a strong way to think about it, is that negative comments generally come from negative people if they're truly negative and they're not like feedback on something that you do wrong. Another way that I do it as well is that I separate the online persona versus the person itself, right? They're addressing MTR, which is a person online that they only see subsets of my thought depending upon what it is that they've actually seen of my content. They don't actually know me as a personal person, so they're not attacking me. They're attacking what they've seen from an online content perspective. And if you separate that out of your mind, then you can separate having emotions tied to hate.
So I don't feel slighted by someone
Yes, you are
trying to
felon.
like throw
She's
like
surprised.
my past at me. Yeah, I'm a felon. My mama know I'm a felon. My kids know I'm a felon. My fans know I'm a felon, and that's just what it is. I don't try to duck who I am as a person. You know what I'm saying? Am I in jail? Absolutely not. Made some mistakes in the past. Yes, I have. I was young, a little misguided. My father died a long time ago. Even when he was alive, I didn't really lean on him for advice the way I should have, the
what
way
I'm saying.
my children can to me. So yeah, I made some mistakes. I'm not like one of those who's gonna hide or, you know, mask my face because I have a fear of somebody being judgmental about who I was at one point in time in my life. What I do know for a fact is anybody that's speaking my name, right, will not say that and if they see me. Because one or two things. Number one, I am a felon. And number two, I'm gonna get off in your ass in person. Like I'm gonna get off in your ass. So you're not gonna even come at me like that. So do it for the show, do it on the internet. It's all cute, it's all cool. I can't really snatch my TV off the wall and break it across my knee because I'm mad at you. But when I see you in person, and one day I will, have that same energy. It's all that I ask. I'm not doing the back and forth on the internet. And 10 out of 10 times, when people see me in person, they don't have the same energy. So cool, have at it.
Yeah.
How many felonies do you have?
Oh, you know.
Blaze
you know
is
what?
gonna ask one day.
Yeah,
So
I think like on record, 2 on record.
that's not bad.
It is bad.
He almost
'Cause
had 3.
We live in a 3
3
strikes.
strikes.
So it is pretty bad. One of them was a wobbler, so I ended up getting that
Wobbler.
expunged. And you know, like what a wobbler is
What is a
like
wobbler?
you get to like after you know a certain amount of time, you can go back in. If you don't commit any more felonies, you can get it to a misdemeanor. So that's where I am with one, and then I'll over time I'll get the other one down, and yeah.
But this was what, like when you were in your 20s? Like what?
Yeah.
30s.
Okay.
Ever since my 40th birthday, I've been like one with God. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
And I
okay.
ain't like, you know, I'm not saying like I'm Pastor Mace or T.D. Jakes or Kirk Franklin, but I'm doing pretty well with like my faith and where I'm at in life. And I haven't been to jail in a very long time.
Good. I can't get over how surprised his baby mom is of finding out this news live on a podcast. I find his comments here about what he would do to someone in public very interesting, right? Because while he, you know, postures that effectively he'll be violent against someone else if he sees him in public, he also acknowledges that he's one strike away from hitting that 3-strike limit, right? You know, and I think as a father, you know, we talked about this, right? And most recently, right, I even think about the, you know, Anton Daniels, Corey Holcomb situation in the fact that, you know, things that are you engage with from a certain mentality with on the internet is going to be different in how you engage when you see that person in real life. The only thing I caution the game for him is invitation towards that type of smoke when you are that close from some serious time while also being a father, because effectively at the end of the day, it'll be the child that will suffer if you are unavailable for them based off of ego or pride that you think is enough to go to jail over. All right, guys, questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do, man. Go to turbosandreviews@gmail.com. Guys, let me know what you think about this piece of content down up in the comment box down below. Did I miss anything? All right. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? I want to hear your guys' points, opinions, feelings, perspectives. Write them down in the comment box. Let's continue to talk about these different topics as we continue to go forth. And I appreciate you guys. I love you. Thank you for sticking with me within the content. But yeah, until next time. Peace.
So, without further ado, MTR, cut through the BS like we in charge. No cap with the rappers like steel bars. I'm packing and rapping like here we are. Mediocre tutorial reviews. Like, comment, share my views. Come up and I paid my dues. Big step in my black way shoes. MTR, he break it down, yeah, it's MTR. Check out the sound with his MTR. No one put it down like it's MTR.